Если вы заглянете в Википедию...
If you look at Wikipedia and type in decorative and applied art, you will read the following description. A wide selection of art that covers various branches of creative activity. In contrast to works intended for aesthetic pleasure and related to pure art, the numerous manifestations of decorative and applied arts can have practical use in everyday life. Well, who does this? Of course, artisans. Although in our time, it's better to call them artists. They create everything with their own hands, and it all turns into a masterpiece. And right now, our correspondent in Dushanbe, Aziza Sharipova, will introduce you to a ceramic artist from Tajikistan, whose works, although related to handcrafts, nevertheless can be considered as a truly high art. Sohrab Saidov could be compared with a magician, who can turn a simple clay into a real piece of art. He has a workshop in his apartment, where he performs magic. People call masters like Sohrab the master with the golden hands. Thanks to his talent and creative thinking, the pottery artist from Tajikistan has his own unique style.
Создание одной вот такой двухстенной вазы у меня уходит неделя. Это полный цикл, начиная от...
It takes me a week to create one such double-walled vase. This is a complete cycle, starting from the filling of the form, then I need to assemble one vase from two forms. After that, I put in an ornament. Each time, the ornament will be different, because I put it a fresh item without a template. I start working on the ornament. I can show it to you now. This is the same type of vase, but with different ornament. When I finish with coloring, if you look from above, it looks like a flower bud expands. Here is an ornament here. Here is the same form, but I already made a thumbnail. Sohrab's creative signature is small forms. He does not use patterns and any special blanks. All his work is done entirely by hand. The master chose for himself a special technique of performance, difficult but very interesting. It would seem that it's traditional, but at the same time, not quite. Elegant lines, ornate patterns, and colorful ornaments, among other things, highlight his work.
Чем отличается мой стиль от традиционного направления?
What is the difference between my style and traditional? I carve every single ornament. Then I fill each line with black glass, black paint, and it turns into something like mosaic. And I paint every square or a diamond, depending on the element it turned out to be. Maybe it will be a triangle, and I paint it with multicolored glasses. After I decorate it, I burn an item at a temperature of 980 degrees. Works of Saidov is the result of meticulous work. Master must be patient, diligent. He has to have great endurance and accuracy. A slightest mistake can irrevocably damage the workpiece. Although Sohrab has his own approach to such situations.
Изделия, которые делаю, требуют точного расчета.
Products that I make require precise calculation. My major was engineering, so I can do complicated things. It happens that something does not work. If something didn't work here, I don't throw it away. I live it. Every morning I get up, I come to the workplace, and the first thing I see is the product. I study what I didn't do well. It can stand before my eyes for years. I come every day and think, why did it fail? And maybe in a year, maybe in half a year, some simple idea comes to me. This idea helps me to correct the error. You have to have perseverance and go till the end.
Все время надо иметь выдержку, да, идти до конца.
Sohrab Saidov is the owner of 2 UNESCO quality marks. One of his famous works, Lamp of Aladdin, received a diploma for unique style.
Перед вами волшебная лампа Аладдина.
Here is the magic lamp of Aladdin. It's used as follows. We take a candle, put it here, cover it. It's just a lamp.
Так, ставим сюда, накрываем.
A stand can be used as an ashtray. There is another option. We can put one candle here and it will be one lamp. We'll put a candle there, and these are already 2 lamps. And it will be possible to put it on both sides. And the third option, We'll put a candle over here. First, pour water into the stand. Then we put some aromatic oils. We cover it like this. Light comes from below, heat goes up, evaporation begins. It turns into aromatic lamp. This lamp received a quality mark in Tehran in 2009. Master Sohrab Zaidov invests his soul, all his talent into each of his works. Ceramics gives back his affection and gives him the energy to carry on from the very first touch and doesn't let go for a really long time. As a rule, when it comes to painting, each of us immediately think of a canvas and a palette with paints. But there are wood paintings, and they're unbelievable. The Intarja school is really something unusual and remarkable. You will see it for yourself by watching the story of our correspondent in Bishkek, Ruslan Harizov. It's not a secret that various home crafts, paintings, furniture made in Intarja technique have always been considered a luxury item. And it's no wonder because all this is exclusively handmade. And very few people know that there is a school of Intarja in Kyrgyzstan, and the only workshop in the world where the famous artist Vladimir Gorovoy creates unusual paintings from ordinary wood, and they are known almost everywhere in the world.
Смотрите, это вот натюрморт. Осенний цвет называется. Вот здесь.
See, this is still life. It's called autumn color. There are 1,800 details. Can you imagine it? And each of them should be picked up at least 5 or 7 times. Can you imagine how much time does it take to complete this kind of work? Then, it's all pressed and varnished. It takes about 2 months to complete this picture. But first you need to draw it, and about 10 days can be spent only on preparatory drawings. Our local knotwood is used right here and there. I would say that there is nothing better in the world than our knotwood.
Вот я вам скажу, что по цвету, по тону, по качеству лучше нашего ореха в мире нет.
The works of Vladimir Gorovoy are represented in many museums of the world and in private collections of connoisseurs of high art. At the same time, ordinary citizens for some time now have had the opportunity not only to see but also to purchase at a completely affordable price a president's painting. You would ask, why it's called a president's painting? Because the work of the artist were noted by such politicians as Vladimir Putin, George W. Bush, Nursultan Nazarbayev, and Dmitry Medvedev. Well, people come from all over the world to buy my works, mainly top public officials. Our presidents collect them too. Putin has my paintings. He got them when he visited our country. Bush has my pictures. My work is collected all over the world. It should be noted that the process of creating such paintings from wood is very interesting and fascinating. At first, it's painted on paper. Then parts are cut from various wooden materials and glued with a small amount of glue and iron. Paint is not used here. Only various types of wood species of a different shade.
У меня дома большая, хорошая мастерская. Вот, там рождаются идеи. Там я подготавливаю картон. Картон – это рисунок на натуральную величину.
I have a big, good workshop at home. I find my inspiration there. I prepare cardboard paper there. A life-size drawing is created on the cardboard. I invented this technique, and the idea of a painting comes on its own. When I see that the cardboard is absolutely ready, I bring it here and transfer it further to the material. That is, I have a basis for my creation. I make a drawing on a base and I use a saw to cut each detail separately.
Потом у меня есть вот лобзик. Вот. И я начинаю подетально все это распиливать.
Vladimir Gorovoy is proud of his followers who once come to him, admitting that they admire his work and would like to learn more about this art. One of his followers is a delicate girl named Salamat, who has managed to break the stereotype that women aren't designed for woodwork.
Я познакомилась с Владимиром Ивановичем.
I met Vladimir Gorovoy and I simply asked, please give me the opportunity to at least attend a master class. That's how I came to him.
А сама я вообще с детства увлекаюсь изобразительным искусством.
I have been interested in art since childhood. I was always fond of visual arts. Perhaps this was the impetus for my today's work. For 3 years, I worked in the Cooperative Museum of Fine Arts. I felt that I had found something of my own. I started to cut different art from wood, and it was interesting and cool. And then other people came along with me, and I always talked with Vladimir Gorovoy and joke. You know, many who came and started to work with wood, they realized that this is not their calling, and they decided to leave.
Когда только начинают пилить, они понимают, что это не их, и уходят.
I would like to remind you that intarsia is the inlay of a tree with a tree. The process is painstaking, but interesting. All items, including furniture made in this technique, are created entirely by hand. For their manufacture, wood of different colors selected, which is cut into thinnest veneer tapes after removing all defects. The resulting tape strips are glued to sheets of the required size, from which then we cut out the details for the mosaic. At the moment, Vladimir Gorovoy plans to organize another exhibition, which will feature works dedicated to the famous Manas epic. We would like to wish a further success for the artist, because thanks to his hard work, many people around the world have an interest in art, culture, and life of Central Asia. Our next hero admits that in the mid-90s of the last century, she thought that handicraft was irretrievably lost art in Kazakhstan. Then she was one of the few who became involved in a program to restore and develop the Asian traditions of the Kazakh masters. And today, many of us understand that the country's decorative and applied arts have every reason to be one of the most profitable sectors of the economy. And it's no wonder. In one of the audiences of the Almaty College of Construction and Folk Crafts, there is another class. This is a workshop of felt artist Ayjan Bekulova, who, like many of her colleagues, is not indifferent to the topic of restoring and developing the traditions of Asian artisans of Kazakhstan. Ayjan has several diplomas of higher education, but interest in felt came to her only after she graduated from the Theater and Art Academy, received the education of a textile artist, and became a master of tapestries.
То, что я пришла к войлоку, наверное, это не случайно. В 94-м, 93-м году.
It's not a coincidence that I got interested in felt. In 1993-1994, I first tried this material. I went to the village. At that time, there was no special literature. We didn't have internet. But trips abroad allowed to get me some kind of literature. And I realized that there is a huge interest in this material in the world. In my opinion, felt has unlimited possibilities. I began not only to practice it myself, but also I taught a large number of people the technique on how to work with it. She has a lot to teach, and the number of applicants is growing every year. Moreover, the Asian Kazakh tradition of felt is not just art. This is a whole philosophy and a great achievement of human genius.
Казахи использовали его для изготовления текеметов.
Kazakhs often use coarse or semi-coarse wool for tekemets. It rolls very well, and if you know, Kazakh yurts were used year-round. They do not let the rain or snow in and protect from gusts of wind, because the felt itself is very dense. Now we can observe the process of making the famous Kazakh tekemets, not according to the traditional nomadic technology, but in a more modern and easy way.
Мы используем нашу казахстанскую шерсть мериносную.
We use our Kazakhstan merino wool, use water and soap.
И мыло. При этом методе мы можем.
This allows us to do quite serious work in a small area.
Серьезные работы. Девочки в данный момент делают.
Girls are currently making a tekemet. This is when one color of felt rolls into another. Here are the ornaments. We used a white color as a background. Pattern on ornament was carved on it, and the later thread of a more contrast color to underline the ornament itself.
Нить более контрастного цвета для подчеркивания самого орнамента. Помимо традиционного метода валяния войлока существует сейчас и современный метод, так называемый сухой метод.
In addition to the traditional method of felting, there is now a modern method. This is the so-called dry method, when we use special machines and needles. And this method allows you to quickly achieve an impressive effect to make a smooth felt, without using water and soap.
Очень хороший этот метод, когда необходимо изготовить...
This method is very good when you need to prepare a pre-twist in order to lay out an ornament afterwards.
Главное, что здесь существует такая функция, как
And the most important thing is that there is such a function as backlighting, thanks to which you can see the correctness of the layout and correct all the shortcomings in time.
Правильность раскладки и вовремя исправлять все недочеты.
Ayjan Bikulova is more widely known as the president of the Our Heritage Foundation, the vice president of the World Craft Council of the Asia-Pacific region for Central Asia. In 2012, she headed the Union of Craftsmen of Kazakhstan, which was initiated and established by a group of craftsmen from 7 regions of the country. And today this union is a member of the World Crafts Council, which allows our masters to participate in many international events.
На самом деле, союз, он имеет своей целью...
In fact, the union has a goal to raise the level of skill among our masters, to raise the level of awareness of what is happening in the world. Our masters are discovering the world for themselves, but they too are revealing our heritage and our art to the world. Our big project is education. We conduct a huge number of training sessions, but in addition to everything, we're also teaching art marketing, the basics of business.
Основам бизнеса. У казахского народа есть чему...
The Kazakh people have something to be proud of and something to restore. A lot of crafts that could become a truly Kazakhstan brand. For example, jewelry. And our masters are among the best in Central Asia.
Ювелирное искусство одно из лучших, наши мастера одни из лучших мастеров по Центральной Азии.
But let's get back to the felt. Now in the world, there is a huge interest in products from this material. Many people are tired of synthetics and begin to feel the need for natural products in which they feel completely different, because they embody a completely different energy. And thank God, there are such masters as Ayjan Bikulova, who's reviving the unique, environmentally friendly and great folk tradition.
Для меня войлок – это не только панно.
For me, felt is not only a tool that I can use, and not only traditional felt, but the ability to make clothes.
Я делаю небольшие скульптуры.
I make various sculptures using dry sculpted felt. In projects, I have to do interior things and make jewelry. When you work with wool, it's like clay. It's a living material. It takes away all the negative energy. And literally, in half an hour of work, working with this material, holding it in your hands, you begin to understand that you forgot about all the problems. You feel rejuvenated again.
Забыл про все проблемы. Ты возродился вновь.
Therefore, I try almost every day to mash wool for at least 10 minutes to make something of it. It can be a small piece, so that later this piece will grow into a big project.
Из нее хотя бы небольшую заготовочку, чтобы потом эта заготовка выросла в какой-то большой проект.
That's all for today. We would like to say to all craftsmen and to representatives of applied arts, Keep on making this world beautiful, because without you, it would look dull and gray. You have watched Colors of Asia. See you next time.